And after 14 years, you think this case is finally solvable?
I believe it is. I believed it back then, and I believe it now.
In 2007, 19-year-old Brittany McGlone was brutally attacked in her sleep. Now, more than a decade later, and still no solid answers. Special correspondent Stephanie Bauer is in Texas with more. Stephanie.
Thanks, Kay. I've come to Wood County, Texas, because the new sheriff in town has vowed to finally solve Brittany's case. And he's agreed to give us an inside look at his reinvigorated investigation of this heartbreaking and senseless killing, a case that the nation likely hasn't heard about, but this small town can't forget.
Since May 4th, 2007, my whole life has changed. That my sweet 19-year-old daughter could be murdered. She was surrounded by monsters and people capable of murder.
Winsboro, Texas. Population less than 4,000. 19-year-old Brittany McGlone had an enjoyable life in the small, unassuming city.
When you think of like the most innocent, good-hearted person, she truly, truly was that.
Brittany was taking a gap year before college. She was holding down 2 jobs to save money so she could study nursing at Baylor University. Her mother, Patricia, vividly remembers the last day she saw her daughter alive.
She told me before she went to work that she was going to go to her boyfriend's immediately after work. It was the first time she ever did that. She always came home first, took a shower, ate a bite, went to sleep for a while, and then would go up there. This was the only time that she had ever done that. And so when she got off work, she went to her boyfriend's home. And that's where she was murdered.
Brittany was bludgeoned to death in her boyfriend's bed. He says he left her sleeping around 8 a.m. to pick up a relative who lived 2 hours away. He returned home to the gruesome scene. Brittany's sister Hope is still baffled that after more than a decade, there have been no arrests.
I mean, it's been basically like torture. It affects every bit and piece of my life. It's shaken my sense of security and safety.
Winsboro's new sheriff, Kelly Cole, is determined to solve this case.
We're actually starting right back at the beginning with everything.
What DNA was collected there?
Of course, all the DNA that was there in the bed, DNA from the wall, DNA from carpet, DNA from clothes. Multiple individuals were swabbed at the time. Anybody that had any involvement around the house or anybody's name that came up in anything.
What are your thoughts on motive based on how the scene looked?
There was a lot of anger there. Now, what that anger was over, we've got a few ideas that we're researching.
Do you have any persons of interest right now?
There's a few, to be honest.
Brittany's boyfriend, Jeff Stogner, has not been ruled out.
I think in the original part, and I don't mind saying this, I think they kind of ruled him out because he passed the polygraph. But at this point in time, the way we look at it, we're not ruling anybody out.
Sheriff Cole says Brittany's former boyfriend has been cooperating with the new investigation. He did not respond to our request for comment. Sheriff Cole tells me he will be retesting all DNA against items from the crime scene.
So this isn't an instance of you having DNA that will specifically solve this. It's also talking to people and interviewing them.
There's a lot of circumstantial evidence, and that points us in a good direction. But we want to make sure that that's solid circumstantial evidence, because it's not just finding someone to arrest. We may only get one shot at prosecuting this, and we want to make sure that that counts.
Now, the sheriff truly believes that 2 people could have been involved, so that means more people could come forward with tips, which they are asking for. Okay?
Stephanie, I appreciate your work so much. And if you out there watching have any information that could help in this investigation, please contact the Wood County Sheriff's Office, 903-763-2201. That is the number to call right now.